Hello, beautiful students. Welcome to part 4 of interviews. Today we're going to be discussing the qualities that an interviewer is looking for. The first is adaptability. That means that you can adapt to all kinds of situations, like what we're doing now. The second is competence. Are you competent in something? You have to be competent in something. Word, Excel, even video games is a kind of competence. But you want to be careful with video games because unless you're going for a video game job, somebody at Starbucks isn't going to be impressed, or a university won't be impressed unless, of course, you're going for video gaming as a career, as a major. The next is confidence. Now, a lot of us just have to fake this. We have to fake it. In the description box below, I've placed a link to a TED Talk about confidence. So that will be your assignment. Make sure you check that assignment out below. The next is creativity. And I know a lot of people think, I'm not creative. Well, here's the sad thing, or maybe the good thing. You need creativity to navigate the world, to navigate the job market, to navigate college. Creativity isn't about, making origami and being able to draw. I'm not discussing that kind of creativity. I'm talking about out of the box thinking creatively, coming up with innovative kind of ideas to get something done. The next is dedication. Students can show this with perhaps sports, or perhaps they are active in their church, youth organizations, or a club. That would all count as dedication. Dedication to your family, yeah, not so much. The next one is dependability. Dependability. If you're in sports and you have to show up all the time or at the right place, that's showing dependability. An employer wants to know that you're going to show up for the job on time and ready to start work. They also want to be able to depend on you to give the customer the right answer, to provide them with the correct service. If it's for college, they want to know that you're going to show up for class on time and that you say you're going to do what you're going to do. You know what they say about group work, right? There's one guy who does everything and nobody else does, and there's always that one slacker. You don't want to be that one slacker. Easygoingness. Now, I find this interesting because a lot of these tend to be, you have to have all this go get 'em and be inspiring and confident and competence, but you also need to show easygoingness. And for some of us, that's difficult, but that kind of goes with adaptability. You can't get too riled up if there are literal roadblocks or metaphorical roadblocks in your life. If you had a plan and something came up, I don't know, like COVID, you have to be a little bit easygoing and roll with the punches. Just kind of roll with the changes. Teachers like that, employers like it, colleges like it. Leadership ability. This is why your counselors tell you to have leadership positions in your clubs and in your sports, because there are traits of a leader. And that is going to be another assignment, is traits of a leader. So make sure you check the box below to look for that assignment. Leadership ability, not everybody has it, honestly. In fact, I would say most people in the world don't, but you all have some aspect of leadership ability. And you might already be a leader, but some of you, maybe you're not in sports or you're not in clubs and you're like, I'm not a leader. So how are you going to show leadership qualities? Well, one, you're going to do the leadership assignment down in the box below. And two, when you look at those traits, you're going to look at those traits and see where they fit in your life. Self-motivation. Truthfully, I would say most people are not self-motivated, but an employer needs self-motivation. self-motivated people. And self-motivated means you get up and get the job done. You don't have to be told to do it, or you only have to be told once. You do the thing that needs to be done. You get up in the morning and you go to that job, or you do whatever that job requires you. You don't have to be dragged into it. And teenagers, I know nothing really self-motivates you, but perhaps like a Netflix binge. But that doesn't require any motivation. And honestly, as an old lady who's been around a long time, self-motivation is what makes or breaks any endeavor, any job, any career, any project, any little project that you do. If you aren't self-motivated intrinsically, it never works out. You never finish it. So that comes from within. The next is problem-solving ability. And often, problem-solving ability and creativity go hand in hand. You need to be creative to solve problems. We all have been to meetings, I'm sure you've been to meetings where somebody brings up lots of problems and they absolutely have no alternatives. They have no solutions. Well, guess what? Anybody can rattle off problems. Anybody can list stacks of problems. Very few people can actually give real, viable solutions to problems. And that's what you have to show, how you solved problems. The next is resourcefulness. And resourcefulness means making do with what you have. For example, I don't actually have a camera that will do videos. So I can either use my iPad, which you see that I am not using at the moment, or I have my computer. I can't use my iPhone because I dropped my iPhone and now it buzzes. So I had to be resourceful until I can buy a camera that I can actually do higher quality videos for. So those are the 12 qualities that an interviewer is looking for. Look at the list that you made for video 1. Did you find any of those traits? If not, you might want to consider revising your list, because remember I did say you are going to be using that list a few times for the next couple assignments. Let's discuss after the interview. What is the next step in the hiring process? Will they call you? How long until they make a decision? These are questions they might tell you on the interview, during the interview, in which case, don't repeat the question because it will seem like you didn't pay attention. If you can, if it's an in-person interview, get a business card. And most importantly, send a short thank you for the interview. This is done so rarely that it makes a huge impression. You can go online and just type in thank you for the interview letters. They're super short. Usually there's at least one sentence in there of maybe 4 or 5 sentences that will connect you and the interviewer with something you specifically said or discussed. Okay, so when is the interview over? The interviewer will shuffle paperwork, gather things, and or stand up. That's your cue to stand up, shake hands. You might want to wipe those sweaty palms before you do so. Thank them and leave. Make sure you read body language. If an interviewer doesn't think you have the social or perceiving skills to read and understand body language, they will also assume rightly that you cannot use it effectively on the job. So no scratching, don't pick lint off your clothes, don't look at your nails, play with your hair, and no self-touching. And make sure you check the description box below for the assignments. Thank you, and remember to stay smart. Bye-bye.